Literally everything. I read the news.
Okay.
All types of forms. I will fill it on my phone and send it in. Like signing on my phone.
I don't like my
everything.
phone that much.
Really? That's what I'm currently reading. The Sex Life of African Women. Very interesting.
Still, I thought you were reading that before.
No, I'm still not finished because it's like some stories I'm just like, this too.
So what do they say? Of different women or of one?
Different women,
particular one?
different countries.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
What countries have you read so far?
I think Malawi, South Africa, Kenya.
Oh, what do
like
they say?
Kenya, Senegal, something like that. So somebody is from used to be in Kenya, then
Moved to Senegal.
moved to Senegal. So it's all about like trying
Interesting.
to delve into Black women's sexuality and what they have to go through.
What do we have to go through?
Yeah, is it a lot? Like,
It's difficult because there's so many stories. Some people are just like, okay, I'm pansexual. I don't know. It's a lot.
Interesting.
So I think it's more about like African women learning about sexuality and like sexual freedom, trying to express themselves.
yeah.
So that's
Because nobody really teaches us.
But I feel like in East Africa they teach you way more than in West Africa. I think West Africa kind of like a thing like, okay, you should just know about sex, but never really about the whole essence of having fun while having sex. It's just about, okay, there is sex, but not like.
Who tells you there's sex?
That's what I'm saying. Nobody ever spoke to me about sex.
What?
Really?
We speak
Yeah.
about sex.
What? Not even your uncles?
Nah.
Your dad?
I learned everything through porn.
Really?
Not I was like looking for it, but I was just like,
It just happened
it
like
just
that.
happened. But till this day, nobody ever spoke to me about sex.
Wow, I had
I
the
feel
whole
like
birds
by
and the
us,
bees
somebody
talk.
passes the information
Yeah.
somehow.
I had the whole birds and the bees talk. And I think it depends on your family and
From
what
your
religions.
parents?
Yeah. Definitely. Was trapped in the car. Mom is like, Montana, I gotta tell you about sex. I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh, which is
Meanwhile,
actually-
that she doesn't know. She probably knows, but like I learned it at school. We start learning it at a young age. You know what it is, and like
I never learned sex at school either.
what the hell? You didn't have sex ed?
No.
We had sex ed until
We did
like
not have
high
sex
school.
ed. That is taboo.
Really? Was
We
it
were just
taboo?
taught about gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV, AIDS. Guys,
They taught us about that too, and they were like equipping us.
Like in high
Before
school
you
or
go
middle
in-
school?
Before you go to high school. So like there's primary school and there's high school. And then before you go into high school, there's like your last few months or whatever, they would really like say, okay guys, you're going into high school, you're probably going to experience things and it's alright. But let's do it in a safe way. So there's this and that.
Really?
But I think
But
that-
the girls and the boys get separated so that if you have any questions, you don't
you're
have to,
comfortable.
you're comfortable speaking
The
to
only
your
thing
teacher
I
about
remember
it.
being told about like that was my periods, where they were just like, okay, you know.
Okay.
Oh, and they taught us about different underwears when I was like
Underwear?
9.
Why?
G-strings, thongs,
What?
the differences,
What?
granny panties, period underwear.
mom taught me that.
No, it's so
Cortex,
fascinating.
please sponsor us. And yeah.
I remember Kotex. I
Yeah.
remember using that as
Yeah.
a young girl. And then when you're in high school, we've got sex ed too. But I think because I went to an only girls school, we felt more comfortable, more free talking to our educators about like sex and any questions we'd have. And obviously it's a bit like uncomfortable in the beginning, but then you're in the same
No.
class, you know the
I
girls,
didn't know
and you just
anything
ask
about
anything.
sex. I just remember seeing my first like a classmate pregnant, and I was like, how did that
Wait,
How old
what?
how
were
did
you?
that happen? I must have been like 15, not
No,
my
Paula.
classmate, but a schoolmate.
Wow.
We all went on holiday. She came back and her stomach was big. And I'm like, why is she fat? And everybody's like, you know, she's pregnant. And then I'm like, how did that happen? You know, it's with a man. So my best friend was, you know, she used to read like all these sex novels and stuff like that. So she knew a lot more about
female
sex.
porn,
Yeah,
sex
yeah, yeah.
novels.
That's how I
Yeah.
also started out reading like all these
Which ones?
stories. No,
like the sailor shit.
no.
I think my
there was a
first one
platform.
was this famous one, 50 Shades of Grey.
Was that, I
That
didn't
was
read
my
that.
first one. And the book obviously does not compare, like the movie does not compare to the book. But I remember thinking, why am I feeling hot? You know,
I think I was like 13, and because I'm such a fangirl, you get like fan fictions of your favorite like superstars and celebrity crushes on this app called Wattpad or Tumblr. I was a Wattpad and Tumblr girl, and you get a lot
Wattpad
for
was
it.
mad.
Yeah, so I would be reading this shit. I'm like, what the hell? Am I allowed to read this? Because like they would go into graphics, some books and some maybe not. And I'm like, I felt so overwhelmed, and that's where I got a lot of my sexual fantasies most probably from, and how I think it's gonna happen.
Like, I think women have a lot of sexual fantasies.
I think you guys are more like very imaginative.
And
it's lovely reading it.
Yeah, because then you get to create all the images.
Exactly, and you picture yourself there, and it's really nice.
I can't really do that.
And then it's difficult to
also
also express that. You know, now you've read it in a book. Now you want this.
And then you're gonna get guys who are gonna laugh in your face.
And then either guys will laugh in your face, or they'll be like, "Where did you learn this, you hoe?" Or
exactly,
like, "You're so dirty minded." Like, but in my head, I just want it to happen.
Yeah,
I really hate watching porn because it's
I
like,
also don't like it.
Your stimulus has been different from the get go.
Yeah, because now I'm only stimulated mentally, and I just have to imagine. And with porn, it's just not romantic.
It's not romantic.
It's not it.
It's really not it.
It's not even steamy and hot. It's disgusting.
And then if you don't like the co-stars, if you don't like the actors, what's the point?
Yeah,
I think porn is more geared for men
with books, you get to decide, how do the moons sound?
Exactly.
How do these people look? What positions are they in? Like,
exactly.
The author gives you the what to imagine, and you paint everything for yourself. With porn, you're like, okay, fine, I like the type of sex. Maybe it's this type. Maybe anal. I don't know. But then the guy is ugly. Or maybe he moans like, and then it just like one tiny detail wrong,
gone.
It's off.
Gone.
Yeah. It's
off. I think that's the difference between men and women. Because I'm not there for.
Or maybe it's me and Montana.
No, I think
most women.
Oh, okay.
No, my sister's also like that. My sister used to always read those porn books, Janet Ivanovic.
What are they called?
I don't know.
Romance or something.
They're like these romance. I remember
erotica.
One of the guys.
They're called erotica.
Yeah. And I remember like going past bookstores at the airport and stuff, and then you'll always see like these erotica books with like these covers and like dramatic, and I'm like, and then I'd go and I'd just read a bit, like the back pages, and my parents are like calling me. I'm like, okay. So I used to read a lot on my phone because it would be more private. I'd read at night. Oh, high school was fun.
High school, those girls who would also write their own erotica.
Yeah,
and that was really nice.
That was really nice.
That was really nice.
That one I would prefer to
really
read.
nice.
Because it's like the girl next door type of thing. I was like, oh, this is.
But it's interesting because you know her. And
you
know
her.
And you're like, oh.
And then they pass it to the entire class for you to read.
When you was in an all-girls school?
Yeah.
No wonder.
I loved an all-girls school.
Yeah. No, it was different here because we had like magazines called Bravo.
Bravo, okay.
So Bravo had like, it was kind of like geared towards teenagers, and they always had like a section of where teenagers were naked. Which actually, when you think about it, kind of like weird, but they were like teenagers till, I think I would say between 16 and 18.
What?
So they would show them full-blown naked, and that's how you kind of like get into.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Imagine you see your classmate, they're naked.
Teenagers?
Yeah.
Why? Do they just want teenagers to
be aware?
To masturbate to teenagers? Or?
I think you can do whatever you want to do with it.
But what about adults who buy it? Isn't that like a form of pedophilia?
Well, I think that's when you're 16, it's kind of like allowed by law. I'm not sure if they were really 16, but they were.
I think when you're underage, you're only allowed to have sex with underage, or you're only allowed to.
No, I think I think it's as of 14. You are even allowed to marry as of 14 or something.
Hey.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So it's not only underage. We don't really do that over here.
What? That could never rule in Africa. Where? Naked
in a magazine.
Yeah, but the thing is, in Austria, as when you're 14, you are legally viable. So that's why. So 14, you're legal viable, and then they're all.
Is that really an age to allow people to have sex?
Of course.
Or to even start. Not to obviously naturally you start to feel those things, but then is that an age to promote that behavior? Like to be like, okay, you know what, you feel these things here. Let me give you this magazine, act on it. But
it's not really about acting on it. It's more about like, okay, I'm educating
Is that
you guys.
really education?
Look, okay, for me, for instance, I didn't have sex until I was 18.
Okay.
Like in retrospect, I think that was the best age for me to have sex.
Okay.
So I wouldn't advise anybody to do it before than 18. But if you want to do it.
Not even 16, 17?
I don't know.
I knew people were 13 and I thought, what the hell?
That is way too young.
Where was I? Like, did I not get the memo?
But why? Like, why do you want to do it
so
earlier?
young. I also...
Obviously, you can. I'm not saying anything against it, but like, I think like 18, you are fake adults, you know. So you can actually decide for yourself. So I'm actually happy in retrospect that I never really had sex before then. It was just like self-exploration.
Interesting.
Which is actually the most important thing in my opinion, to actually self-discover what you want.
Wow, but I remember maybe my first time. Okay, the first time I ever felt like heat, like heated. I'm saying like I'm a dog on heat, but like aroused. I was at a guy's house and he kissed me. He just kissed me, and I'm like, why am I peeing on myself? But I wasn't like peeing on myself,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I was like, what's going on? Really, we do need to educate people on these things, because then you're
Seriously.
just so confused.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, but I think 2 weeks later I was sleeping and I imagined the kiss again, and I'm like,
Oh,
why
you
am I
got
peeing
aroused
myself
again?
Yeah, and I'm like, what is this? What's going on? What's
I can imagine meeting Paula doing that.
this? You know, what's this
How old were
funny
you at that
feeling down there? Maybe 17, 18? I wasn't young. I wasn't like old and I wasn't young. So it was a really good age. And then again, my best friend knew a lot of these things. She knew fingering. She knew everything.
Where does it come from?
I think she was just very interested in sex. She's very sexual. So she just decided to teach herself these things. And then I remember, I don't know who mentioned masturbation somewhere. And I was so guilty for like 6 months. I'm like, I can't do this. No, I can't do this. What if somebody walks in? And then what happens? Will I scream? Will I lose something? All this like weird myths that
'cause
we
you-
hear about
yeah.
masturbation, that it's not good. That was like a time in my life.
Funny
that's
enough, I never
funny.
believed any myth about sex. I always knew from the get-go I liked this shit, even before I had it. I was like, this is me.
Really? I was always scared of having sex while still in my mom's house, because I was scared that she'll know I had sex.
But
You know,
they always know in any case.
African moms are like, my mom would always say, I'll know if you have sex.
She
I'm
will
like, how
know.
will you know?
They will know.
And on TikTok, I saw that this girl was saying that her mom noticed her hips
got
grew wider.
wider. Yeah.
And she's like, that's how I knew you had sex. And I'm like, what?
Because something changes apparently in
I
a
think with
woman.
men, it's
How did your mom know? She just
doesn't.
knew.
I hope she doesn't. Well, okay, wait, let me put it like this.
I
She
thought she
only
knew.
guessed. She only figured it out because I went to Paris for a whole week. Like,
she was like, that was it.
I know how that goes down. I've been there, done that. Mine was
With
2
men, you
weeks.
can spot it easy because
you act different.
your bravado changes. It's like you're more manly. It's like because a man that's never really had sex, like kind of like diminutive. It's like
Really?
once you have sex, it's like
Maya always says so.
trust
I'm
me.
on top of the world.
Yeah, you kind of like I don't know.
I think with women, maybe it changes too. Maybe the naivety wipes away a little. That shyness.
Do we
I don't
glow?
know
I don't know. There's always that saying in movies.
I mean,
Okay.
when you have sex, obviously your body is happy. You have good hormones.
I can sense it when that hasn't had sex in a long time. You kind of like very erratic and
Sense
very
it.
annoying.
Am I annoying?
You're now in a happy position. It's
How
different.
am I?
No, because I think like women kind of like just focus on work, and then with this whole essence of work, it just kind of like stops.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, you're not really happy because you will never get the satisfaction from work. And then it's just like, I'm missing something. Because normally in a normal life is you work and then you go home and then you spend your night. So you are also kind of like the same. I feel like whenever you are not in a situation, you just focus on work and then you're just like, I'm not really happy. No, sex does something.
Sex,
very
I think
important.
it's good. I think
is.
it's good.
I
No.
do think that if I ever have kids, I would like to be more open with my kids about it.
I don't know. I
And
think I
like-
like it to remain the way my culture remains. Like,
Nah, I can't.
my mom doesn't talk to me about sex, but my auntie does. So, but you know, you don't want it to be too graphic. Just say,
I want it to be graphic.
then I have to imagine the person that's explaining that graphic detail
But
to me
I
what
think
they're
it's
doing.
kind of nice.
I think it's easier if a cousin does it, or
Yeah, I only have male cousins. They must not talk to me about
okay, my
sex.
female cousins, they're very open about sex. Okay, or like if I asked a question, they would tell me. And one time I talked to my cousin about what I did to a guy during sex, and she's like, "You shouldn't be doing that." and she's
What
like,
did you do?
I I don't want to attack. I'm
Open
an
your
ally.
yash.
I'm an ally.
Okay.
It was just fiddle in the back. But then, no. There's something that the guy made me do that was just like really uncomfortable. It wasn't like about the fiddling. It was just like weird. Yeah, and they'll just be like, oh, it's better if you do sex like this. Okay, it's fine if you're bisexual. It's fine if you're bi-curious. Go kiss the guys. Go kiss the
women are all
girls.
bi-curious.
I think we are.
I think we are. I think we've all thought about. Am I?
I've
I mean,
Paula's
I
been
have a
looking
story
pretty.
time. I have
Okay.
a story time.
Story time. We have actually.
Mayowa likes personal
To be
stuff.
fair, we have not actually introduced the whole podcast.
Oh my god! Oh, okay.
Well, that was nice.
How far are we?
This is a
13
long
minutes.
intro.
Okay.
That's a long
Okay,
intro.
we'll just.
We still
continue.
have to do it though.
Okay, do it because my
Welcome
stories-
to another episode of Podfessions. My name is Mayowa, aka.
Big Daddy.
That was I like the intro. I like.
Did
the
you guys
intro.
miss me?
Thanks. We missed you.
Welcome back.
We
Michaela.
actually
Thank
missed
you.
you.
missed you.
Thank you.
We're a trio now.
I
Three
feel like we are.
musketeers.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
going well. So back to your
Yeah.
story. I don't wanna.
So I went
you
to
go?
this club in Vienna called VIP,
Mm-hmm.
right? And usually I don't drink, but because I'm not someone who drinks very often. But then when I do drink, I like to do it to the maximum ability. Just when you're tipsy, but you're not drunk. You're like between
No, tipsy is
tipsy,
nice, but drunk
yeah,
is-
Being tipsy is really
yeah.
nice.
But then where you're like, ooh, what can I do? And tequila is like aphrodisiac, so I drank tequila. It is. Tequila is bad
Maybe
for
you're
women.
aphrodisiac.
No, for women.
For women, is it?
For women, it is. Like it makes you very aroused. And I remember that night I was seeing somebody, so I couldn't do anything with guys. And I was just seated. I was like, okay, I'm waiting for my friends to finish so we can go home. And I was seated, and this beautiful girl, she was South American. She was South
Describe her,
American.
be specific. And
Oh
graphic,
my god,
please.
she had the most beautiful curly hair. She was mixed. Beautiful features, nice hips, very gorgeous girl. Nice boobs, nice everything. But obviously I'm not like a lesbian, so I was like, okay, cool. All my friends, they all, because there were 3 guys, they all saw her and they tried to make a move. First one failed, second one failed, third one
Paula's
failed.
like, let me show you how it's done.
I didn't do
Let me show
anything.
you
So
how it's
I was
done.
just seated, and then she left because she was like, okay, these guys are hitting on me too much. Let me leave. And I was seated on a couch, and they were all 3 next to me, and that's how they hit on her. And then she's like, actually, she was at the door, and she's like, actually, hold up. Then she turned around and she came to me, and she's like, you're so pretty. Do you mind if I get your number? And then she touched my waist. I'm like, this is not friendly, is it? Is this friendly?
Am I reading it correctly?
Am I reading? No, literally, am I reading this correctly? I'm like, of course you can have my number. So now I started flirting with her because I was like,
I
like
it.
this. And I like that you rejected the men over here too.
Yeah, well-
And anyway, so I gave her my number and she's like, I'll call you. It's different. Like,
It's different.
she's taking charge, but she doesn't look masculine or anything. She's just very feminine looking. She's like, I'll call you. I'm like, okay, cool, call me. And then I'm like escorting my friends out, and then she sees me and she passes a wink. I'm like, all right. So my friends are like, take her home. You know how guys are? They just want to see like women make out or I don't know, do funny things. So then I'm like, should I take her home? Like this, like, but then what do I do? I don't know. I've never eaten like pussy before, so I don't know how
It's
to
the
do
first time.
that. Like, what do I do? Is she clean? Does she have a disease? Like, I'm asking myself so many questions. Is this what you guys go through when you're picking a girl up from a club?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, I want her. I really want her.
That's why I'm saying eating pussy on the first time after a club
But
night.
what else do I do? But like, what else can I do? Like, this is woman on woman. Okay. And so then I turn around and I'm like, let me just go say goodbye to her. So one of my friend left and then 2 remained. So let's call them Groot and Mario. Groot and Mario remained. And then they're like, come on, Paula, just take her home. Take her home. I'm like, guys, I can't, man. Maybe I take her out on a date. Maybe we go out on a date and then after that we'll see what happens like later. But club romances, you can't see each other during the day.
Nah, the vibe
It's
is
illegal.
different.
The
The vibe
vibe
is
is
different.
I think club is kind of like the place where you can't meet anybody properly.
And then
the worst.
we went back inside. Now we're in VIP, right in front of the DJ's place. And she's like, okay, let's dance together. I don't know. A song came and I just started twerking. And then I just felt someone gently hold my waist. I'm like, who is that? I turn around. I'm like, oh, it's you, baby. Okay. And we dance. And then I'm like, okay, I need to go home. And then she kissed me. Like she just... And I'm like, okay, bye. And then another song came and I'm like, okay, let me actually go. Do you know the Kizomba dance? That was a very Kizomba dance song. So I started dancing like that with her. But then now we were making out. And now I'm like, I am taking this girl home today. At this point, my Christian brain is like, what are you doing? I'm like, fuck off. You know, I'm like, let me enjoy this.
Lesbian for the night.
I was gonna take her home, Mayowa. I was. So we're dancing. I have, up until that point, no man had ever made me feel like that. I was more aroused than I had ever been in my life. I was like, what the hell is going on?
I want to experience that too.
But then maybe it's a tequila too. Maybe it's the ambience. And you know, and then when we're done, the music stopped. Everybody's around us. Everybody was staring. They're just like, imagine. I've never gone back to VIP after that day.
The Groot and the Mario, the way they told the
group
story,
and the Groot and the Mario were having the time of their lives.
they still bring it up to this day.
They still do.
And
so,
they say how everyone was watching you too.
Then I was like, do I take her home? But then I was like, no, I think we've had our moment. Let's leave it here.
Not ruin it.
Yeah, let's not ruin it. So I went home and when I got home, I was like, wish I brought her home. I regret
it's always
it.
like that.
You know, but I don't have a strap on. I don't have any of those things. Like, she'll have
Were
to.
you going to go that way?
I mean, I don't know how to please her. No, I don't know how to please a
Maybe
woman.
she could be your
like,
mentor and she would just show you how to do scissoring and I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, Paula, that would have been fun.
I don't know.
To be fair, I think a woman might be sexually more proficient than a man.
I feel like I'd
Because a
probably
woman knows
enjoy
what
it
a
more.
woman wants.
Exactly.
I just wanted her to be the one to do it to me. But then later on, I texted her like immediately after. I'm like, hi, it was so nice. But then I was like, you're straight, right? She's like, I'm very straight. We were just bi-curious for the night.
Okay.
And it just so
Which could have
happened,
been also been an
that
experience.
the both of us were bi-curious. And then we never ever spoke
I can't
again.
imagine myself doing that. Never. No, because there's also a saying
Not
like,
even a nice kiss?
nah, why? No. I
There's
don't
some
want-
men who you just want to kiss.
There's never been a man that I want to kiss. Because there's also a saying like, it's only a man that can understand how to give another man a blowjob. Kind of like, because we understand, okay, what we might need. But it's not something that we want to experience.
What sort of saying is that?
No, it's kind of like true because a man understands like.
Experience it once, Mayo. Come back to
No,
us.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I think that doesn't.
I think once you swing that way, it's hard to come back.
But
Maybe
it's actually unfair that a man can't be bi-curious.
I think it's
can.
society that has allowed women to be
I think
like
it's fine if
this.
a man is bi-curious.
Nah, come on. You guys want to take it
I don't
back.
know. I wouldn't.
I
Montana
would.
You
would.
see?
Montana
I would.
would,
I
but I
would.
wouldn't. You know me, I like my hunky chunky men. Like very masculine.
Yeah, but it's just an experience. I want to try it once and then maybe leave it at that.
I think
No, not me, not me, not
but I
me.
think because like
For them.
for centuries, like men would always sleep with multiple women, like even with the Romans and the whatever, and the
That was
women,
the thing
and they would
though.
make the women do things to each other. So maybe that's why the bi-curiosity with women is just normal because it's always been there.
But even in the Roman days, there was a thing like men would have sex with each other. You know, as an initiation to get into sex, and then it's kind of like you are in your first stage you are homosexual, and then you progress into heterosexuality. Yeah,
Interesting.
But do you never stay homosexual?
obviously some people do, but that's why we kind of like say the Western society and the way they look at aesthetics is very boyish, very slim and slender. So that way it comes from that the aesthetics is not based on thick women and voluptuous women. It's more of like the type of model type of women that are very straight, narrow, no curves. That's where it comes from, because they kind of like look boyish, but just in a feminine body.
Hey, that's a fun fact.
Very fun.
Yeah, it's weird, but not for me. I can't see myself being in the days of the
Not
Greeks
even
and
with
the
a nice
Socrates.
thick man.
Montana,
To be fair, I think that would fuck me up mentally. That would be like, am I gay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think even when you watch porn and you see some gay shit, you're like. But now it's okay. Now I'm just gonna be like, oh, it is what it is, because now everything is trans and rainbow. So you can't, because normally when you enter those porn sites, like you can't like type in your preferences. Okay, I'm straight, so anything that will show you straight. But nowadays there are so many trans things, so it's kind of like they're still women or not women. I don't know. So you might see a few guys giving each other blowjobs. Like, now it's just like, okay, it is what it is. But back then, 10 years ago, it was like, nah.
10 years ago. 10 years ago, I didn't even know. How old was I? 12? No, I don't even know. Didn't know any of that.
Yeah, sex is fun. Montana, what about you? What about your dating experiences?
So long.
Oh.
Tell us. Because people have been asking, oh, I thought Montana was a virgin. But she's out here.
Every episode,
Guys,
Montana reveals something.
A bit more about me.
Yeah.
I'm even surprised. Every single time I see a video, I'm like, gosh.
No, but you know that choking one,
Mm-hmm.
the choking video, I relate to Montana. Who told guys to choke women?
Seriously.
Women.
Oh. Listen, the only men we want choking us are the ones we like. Otherwise, you're strangling me. Right?
But
Like,
I think with the whole sexual liberation thing, women are now saying, okay, we also want to be ravaged. So that's what I've been getting a lot. Like women be like, yeah, throw me against the wall, do all kinds of shit. Like for me, violence
But it
and
needs
sex.
to be gentle.
It does.
Like,
No, some women really want that shit. Like, I want you to
no,
choke me.
it has to be gently aggressive.
Gently.
Like very
yes.
gentle.
Gently take dominance.
That's you guys. There have been women that will say, I want you to step on my head while I'm bending
That's like abuse.
over. You see, when I sometimes write certain things, you know, obviously, it's like I have a few muses that will kind of like spark my brain. I've had people telling me that, yeah, I want you to step on my head. Or
But what's
the light degradation is a turn on.
No.
Degradation is a turn on.
Suffer
It's
too
like
much.
I want to be disrespected. That's what I want. Spit in my face.
But
But
are those
then-
the same
but-
people who have never been respected in their lives, or who get too much respect and they want to know what the opposite
That's the
feels
thing, we
like?
never know. It can be both. You know, some people are not respected in the society, so they kind of like become dominatrix in
in the bedroom?
the bedroom, or they are 5 to 9, you know.
Yeah.
So that's where they kind of like feel dominance. Other people are so respected that they never hear any forms of no. So they want to also feel like, oh, how does it feel to be a sub, for instance, you know? So they want to feel dominated. Me, I'm an African man. I've been beaten. I've been slapped. I don't want
Are
anybody to slap
African
me.
men vanilla in bed?
Very much so, yeah.
Why?
Like I said, I think sex is education. So it's something that some people need to educate you about, most especially in the tenure of a long-lasting relationship. Because at the very first beginning, sex is very fun. It's you guys, not necessarily, but you guys have a lot of sex. But then life happens, kids, marriage, work. So you kind of like have to get into sex again. So that's also something
You
that
gotta
you
make
need
it
to
interesting.
learn. Exactly. You need to. So are we buying sex toys? What are we doing? But for most African men, sex toys, no, that's like a no-go. Or like masturbating next to each other is also a thing. Yeah, so many things that
But
you
why? But you guys watch porn. Why can't you teach yourselves from the porn?
Okay, the thing about porn is like
Because then
there's some
if you're blaming the lack of education on your vanilla-ness, like your vanilla-ness on the lack of education, but there's porn, there's the internet.
yeah, but porn is too. In my opinion, porn is too aggressive.
Okay.
But some men really like that shit. So they like all this. Oh, we are ravaging a woman, and that's what she likes. All this beating and slapping. So they kind of like think that they have to do the same thing because that's what women like, because she's moaning and groaning, all types of things. But the thing is,
We're
like,
only moaning because we wanted to finish faster.
well,
Am I lying?
It depends who the guy
It depends on the guy.
But yeah.
Sometimes you're like, "Ay, chop, 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 chop. When are you coming?" Ay. Okay, I've never done that, but then it's just I know a lot of women have
Yeah,
been
I've also
in
never
that
done that.
situation where it's like, let me just give him the response he
Okay,
wants. Otherwise,
true.
he's just gonna keep trying different
True,
things until I
true.
give him a response.
True.
me personally, I would appreciate instructions. This is what I like. Give me the game plan. Give me the cheat code. Okay, up, down, press, left, right, boom. Okay, that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
I like instructions, and once I have like the basis, this is what I'm going off of. Because there's different types of sex. You can have like penetrative sex. You can have masturbation, tantric sex. I like tantric sex.
What's
for
that?
instance. It's like you don't touch each other. It's just like more about stroking each other, and you guys can like get aroused by stroking each other.
Okay.
So because there's so many forms of sex.
That's a new one.
That's a very new one. I don't know.
What do you mean you touch each other? Like
No, they
just
stroke each
You
other.
just stroke
What's
each other.
that?
It's more of like, okay, we cuddle and you just get turned up by cuddling.
yeah, but then after that, what do you
Nothing.
do?
Nothing.
So how
How
do
do
you?
you
This sounds like a symposium.
No, how
How
do
do
you?
you
What's the thing?
climax?
Yeah, how do you climax?
Okay,
How do you
tantric
reach
sex-
the big O?
No, tantric sex can be touching, but it's not. You don't touch each other necessarily.
Durex. This
It's
is
not
the
like
time.
penetrative sex. It has nothing to do with penetrative sex. Sometimes tantric sex can also be like the chakras kind of like align. It's a dance of the chakras. It's very spiritual.
Wow, Mayowa! The only type of sex I've seen that's not penetrative is, I don't know if it's masturbation, but it's where like the guy would massages the girl's like clit, just massages it non-sensually until she comes. He just like massages. It's not like
No DJ.
no DJing, no touching the nipples. She's just seated and he does that, and she does the same for him. So it's more spiritual, more calming. I don't know. I don't
Have you
know.
experienced
Let me-
No, I'm too scared to just sit there and be like,
okay, one thing that you can do after sex, just lie next to each other and just cuddling and stroking each other. Not in those genitalia areas, just like stroking
What
your
are those like?
stroking your thighs, stroking your neck
Okay.
or your back, and see what happens.
okay.
I only do that because I looked at someone
You look at
Who?
someone.
who's like seated there in the front.
Okay. No. But seriously, try it. So that's why I'm saying like there's multiple ways of having sex, because it's not always that you're gonna have penetrative sex. For a lot of women, they don't really enjoy penetrative sex. So some women like oral sex. Some women just want to be pleased by themselves without their partner also getting
In it.
So
But
those are
you-
the things that you also have to learn.
I think you know how guys are always like, how does a woman expect me to please her if she doesn't even know her
own body.
But it's true.
A woman's body is so complicated. Sometimes even I'm confused by my own body.
But then say so.
And sometimes, but now I'm speaking on behalf of the women.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easier to figure it out with another person.
Of course it is.
You know, so if I come to you and I have no knowledge of my body, don't be like, I didn't give you an orgasm because you don't even know your own body. Why didn't you tell me what to do? Why don't we just experiment together?
I
You
think the
know?
issue is
I'll
that
tell you what I like with time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I like. If you do this, I'll tell you, oh, I really like that. Or I don't
Continue
like
or
this.
don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you have to give them man grace. I think that the issue is like a lot of women just come online and be like, nah, this guy wasn't good in bed. And that's oftentimes not the case. It's like, if you don't know what I like, it could be like, okay, the penetrative sex can only be for me. That's what maybe gets me on. Maybe you just like for me to be rubbing and touching your erogenous zones.
Yeah.
That's maybe the thing that always gets you on. That's why a lot of women say that the first round, it should be more than 2 rounds. Because oftentimes the first round is for the man, the second round is more is for the woman. So then tell me what I need to do in the second
Yeah.
round. Because once I've had my nut, I'm okay. I don't need to be
I
pleased
think
again.
also men should explore their bodies. Like,
We know men are very
Honestly-
we are really not complicated. We know
no,
what we like.
but like honestly, penetration can't be the only thing that gets you off. Like, there's so many other things that I'm sure would please you. Do you want me to, I don't know, nibble on your ear? So many African men, this is who I'm speaking for, they just enter you, they're out. Like,
No, but
Like-
like men also, I know they like when you suck their nipples and stuff.
I know
too.
only
Nipple sucking is the shit.
I only know, the ones we know
Okay.
that like that.
But a lot of men don't want to even try it.
What?
Nipple sucking is the shit. I'm telling you, all this in your yansh and you have your erogenous zone in your ass. I don't believe that. I honestly don't believe that.
I think I had this really hectic culture shock. Gosh, is this the episode I'm exposing?
Expose yourself.
Oh my God, because I only have a body count of 1. If you find him, good for you. So I remember the first time, okay, I didn't want to have sex until marriage, and I was a virgin for a very long time. And I was also in a relationship, so I'm someone who stands my ground. If I say we're not having sex, we're not having sex. I don't know, even if you dance in the heavens, in hell, I don't care. We're not having sex. And obviously there has to be like. Also, I was a church girl, you know, so I had to break down a lot of things.
There's a shame that comes with thinking about sexual.
But what type of shame though?
It's because you know you've been told wait till marriage,
and you're dirty, and you shouldn't be like that. You're sinning.
You're sinning, exactly.
And no one wants to sin.
No, nobody wants to sin, because as you're having the sex in your head, you're like, what am I doing? I shouldn't be doing this. Philippians 10:19.
Exactly. There's so many things that
I never thought that. Even when the pastor was saying things, I was like, look,
I don't know how guys do it, but me, I feel so.
No, seriously, from the get-go, once I entered the church, I already realized my faith. I'm a sinner.
You are a sinner, but the thing is, you want to not be a sinner.
Exactly.
Like you're attempting.
You're trying to be the good one.
Yeah, you're trying to be good. And for me, like the idea of having sex, I couldn't handle it. Like I was like,
I'm on that boat right now.
If I do it, like I'm fucking up. Like what will God think of me? What will my mom think of me?
Do you think that God is really interested in your sexual? So God doesn't have other bigger problems than you being a hoe.
18, 19, 20. I've been raised in the church. Yeah. I'm actually a really good girl, like by choice, or I don't know, it was by choice. And then default. Now I meet a bad boy, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do this." But in church, I've been told, "Stay away from these non-Christians.
Exactly,
they will lead you to sin." It should always
be you and the Holy Spirit and a guy.
Even we had this thing, you know, Holy Spirit hug, like leave space for the Holy Spirit. Like when you're hugging, you're like. You know, the church girl hugs.
Yeah.
And then you're telling me to go have sex.
You can't meet a boy alone. There's like rules.
Yeah. And so in this period of my life, I just like moved. Now I was living on my own. And this guy was like, yeah, we have to have sex. I'm like, hell to the fucking no. When he met me, he knew I wanted to wait till marriage. Now you're changing the narrative. No fucking way. And so he's like, okay, then let's do things. First, I'd never seen a dick. Let's start from there. That was already a culture, like a shock. And then this guy is like, I didn't know men come. Like, I didn't know something comes out of there.
I didn't know it was warm.
Okay. And then this guy, and then on top of that, the one thing I know is sodomy is a sin. Yani, everything is a sin. But sodomy is the top of the top. I mean, that's what the church I was in, told me. And I remember this guy being like, you know what? Stick, just like put your finger behind there. I'm like, behind where? Behind where? You know, and nobody had ever told me. Like, all these things were just so shocking to me. It's like, put your finger behind there. I'm like, okay, that is like do this. I'm like, okay.
And how did it feel in there?
Do I want to put my hand in somebody's ass?
I
Hell
wouldn't
no.
want to.
You know, and I'm like, but then, and obviously he came and I figured out, oh, that's a man's G-spot.
That's his G-spot. That's not a man's G-spot. That's his G-spot.
Okay. But a lot of guys seem to have a G-spot in there. And that's also the first day I got my first facial.
What's that?
Facial is when they come on your face. I remember going to this thing like, this thing is not washing off. Okay, I'm kidding. Well, hey, I was young. But then later on, I actually...
You like it.
In the beginning, it's good for your skin. In the beginning, I was like, this is really weird. I couldn't even talk to anybody about it because the first person I talked to was like, that's gay shit. But then later on, I figured out there's someone who's actually in tune with their body, you know. They're like, okay, this is my G-spot. This is where I get off. I've explored my body and I know ABC. I actually appreciated that. I know as I'm saying this, the African men watching this,
but that's
like,
weird.
That shit is gay.
But picture this. Like, this guy's exploring himself. That means it's like,
I have never pictured that. Why would you say that? This can't end up on the internet. Will be cancelled so quickly.
Why then he's like, he got his finger.
Anyways, yeah. But now and then I've, now having talked to other like
Man.
black guys, including my flatmate. It's like me, the ass, never. Nipples, never. This, never. Toe sucking, never. First of all, why would you suck at guys' toes? They're ugly. But never. And I'm like, hey, calm down, get to know your body, you know, explore it a little bit. Be
Come
open.
on.
Yeah.
Don't you have
To be fair,
fantasies?
there's anything that you do with a woman is never gay.
Fair.
Even if she rims you, it's actually not
it's
gay.
fine, yeah.
Technically speaking, it's not gay.
Yeah,
because
okay.
it's a woman.
It's a woman, yeah. So if you like strap-ons, it's not.
I couldn't do the rimming.
That's why I
That
also
was
have a
tough.
beard. You know why I have a beard?
Do you know what rimming is?
In the ass?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
You know why I have a beard?
Why?
Tafe Brumski.
What is that?
A lot of
Ass
help you
eating.
grow. Ass eating, no.
What? Oh,
Ah.
okay.
Okay, I don't get it, but it's fine.
CJs,
I don't know what that is.
Don't worry.
the opposite of BJ. Clitoral job.
I first read, I remember I was reading this Looking for Alaska, this book when I was like 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first time I heard of what a blowjob was, a BJ. And I was like to my friends, what the hell is a BJ? They're always talking about this BJ thing. And she goes, Montana, don't you know? It's a blowjob.
Why don't you blow?
What do you mean? Oh, it's so. Oh, but to be
When you
fair,
suck, cannot blow.
I don't know. I don't
Have
Suck
you
job.
given one?
okay. But the thing is,
I want to hear, but in Mary, have you given a blowjob?
Once in my life, it lasted like not 30 seconds because
yeah,
I
you see,
wasn't
that's the
into
issue.
it.
That's a big
Let
issue.
me tell you
No,
something.
I wasn't into it. The guy just said, do it. And I was like, no, but I don't want to. But do it. It would come, Montana, just do it. You don't know if you're going to like it because you've never done it before. But I wasn't feeling it. And then I just did it like quickly, 10 seconds. And I was like, I'm done. I just
finish yourself off, bitch.
literally. And I was like, okay, I need something off. I literally said bye. And I left the bathroom. I was like, I'm
Self-respect
done.
at its highest.
But there are loads of courses online about giving blowjob. No, seriously. Do you know why? I
Courses?
think blowjob is.
But I met
It's an
a
art. It's a skill.
It's really a skill.
Is it?
It's a skill, yeah.
I need
What
to know
I'll
that
say
more.
is this: as a person who has not given so many, very few, is I think your skills. I think I don't want to say they're natural. They're not natural, but obviously, who's gonna teach you how to give a blowjob?
Yeah,
Well, even the
seriously.
first person who gave a blowjob, who taught them? Nobody. They just did
I
guesswork.
asked Paula how to. She goes, I don't know, man.
But
So-
I'll say you actually enjoy giving one if you really like the person.
Exactly.
And you're much better at it.
But you also have to learn it though.
You have to learn it, but then you're much better at it, obviously.
And you enjoy it more. And you want to learn.
you actually enjoy it.
You want
but
to
even
learn.
somebody you don't like,
But that's the same as kind of like
eating out.
Eating out.
But
you
the
know?
problem is that a lot of guys expect women to give them blowjobs. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's-
Versus, also women expect guys to give them like CJs, but then men never cave, but women do. So we are the ones who end up giving the blowjobs to the scumbags more often than you guys give CJs
I think
to.
for men it's the fear of smell.
And you think we don't feel smell?
And you think your cum
Okay,
doesn't taste funny.
Okay. Which is understandable, but you have to bear in mind. Okay, we're going to a club now.
Oh, you've gone to pee, you didn't shake it off proper.
But you do. I would never ask the woman to suck me off after going out the whole day. I don't want that. I wouldn't want that. Always after shower.
That's you. You're the decent one.
Yeah, but it's weird. I mean,
Oh
we
man, I
have
have
been
one
to the club.
story, but hey,
No,
this
but
is
it's
our
weird.
stories now.
I won't feel
I told
comfortable.
my story, the short bit.
No, I won't feel comfortable. If she goes down there, she's like, like nah, that would throw me off. Because you don't want after being out the whole day. No, nah, that's weird. So I think that a lot of men would actually like to give CJ, like you call it. But I think there was also stigma around it because some people are like, no, I'm not caving in and sucking a woman off or licking a woman off. Like, why? I think it's part of pleasure. I'm willing to do anything.
I
Okay,
think
most
we
things.
need to like remove these barriers we have in our head. Listen, the life,
But it's
life
religion,
is so
it's religion.
life is so short. Just explore sexually.
Just have
Do we even
fun.
know what these King Solomons were doing? Like they
I
must have been
mean,
moving wild.
well, when you have
but we're
concubines-
here we're here acting like okay, let's just do. One pastor in Kenya said, "You can't be doing missionary all the time. Are you looking at Jesus? Like, what do you want? Why you just all the time? That's what a lot of you guys like. Like, come on,
Yeah, I like
explode,
missionary.
do.
I like missionary.
When I get there, I'll tell you what I like.
I like missionary.
Missionary
Doggy?
is too deep, man. It's too deep.
You guys want to be doing doggy? I need,
No.
I need to see the connection.
No, not only
Guys
doggy,
like eye
but
contact.
Yeah. I want to see your face though. Because your face, you can't lie with your face. You can lie with the morning, but
I
your face
can
kind
be
of
like,
like. Oh, why would you lie? I don't understand. Why would you
nah,
lie?
no. If you
Just
like,
tell the truth.
if you
were
like
bad.
the guy,
Okay.
you won't lie.
Let me
Yeah,
work
if you
on
like
it.
the guy, you won't lie.
I would always like to work on it. Don't judge me on my first performance.
But the coming face shit, men's coming face is just the worst.
I've never
This
seen
is
one.
why if you have a type,
Mhm.
if your type is a 5, pick a 7. Because once you see his coming face, he's a
It's a
5.
5.
So if you
Okay.
pick a 5, he's a 3.
But a common face can really throw you off. But why? It's just
Actually,
like
go to the internet and just search. You guys, your guy, you.
what else should a man do? Like, okay, what is your common face look like? Like
No, but you know the thing is, men find everything about women during sex attractive.
That's
like,
true. That's
so I could even like be like, and you'll be like, ooh,
No,
the way
she
she
just
did
mustn't
that.
be dead. She mustn't like act like she
A
is.
pillow princess.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Anyway, I think this was a very.
that was.
I don't even know
I
if this
don't
was
even know.
planned. This
That
was
was not
not
planned,
the
that was-
planned episode.
That's podcasting. That was ginger.
Yeah, I don't know how
That was
this
really good.
started.
Same.
Oh, the
It was your
book,
fault.
his book.
His
Really? It was my book?
It was your
Oh.
book
It
that
was
we
your
were like
book.
sexuality and education and then
And how it was taught in Africa.
Yeah.
and, like, South
But
Africa.
Africans were very sexual, I think, from my history and from what
Yeah,
I know.
definitely.
Very sexual.
But you
But
know,
I
at the
think it
same
got lost
time-
with the whole essence of religion thing.
I think
Definitely.
the
I
religion, the
think-
colonization.
Yeah, when colonizers came, they made it make us feel dirty. Why are we walking around topless? They over sexualized it, so it lost that beautifulness,
Yeah, the
Mm.
beauty.
the beauty of what it is.
No, sex is fun.
Well,
Enjoy
guys,
it, have
by
it,
the
do
way,
it.
you can send us like Spotify voice notes. Tell us your most interesting sexual experience. I will tell you guys mine with that guy. That was very, very weird. Me and my only 2 guys. But yeah, you can send us voice notes on Spotify.
Be open.
Or text
You
us
want
on
some more
elaborative.
stories from Virgin Mary?
Text us on TikTok. Text us on Instagram. We should do an anonymous thing where people can send their experiences too, and we'll read them next time.
Exactly.
Okay, guys. Like,
Bye. Thanks for
share,
tuning in.
subscribe. Bye.